Evening everybody, Rich here, back for another video for the Diecast F1 review. Here today is the Williams Renault FW17 from 1995, and in the car is Damon Hill. Now the FW17 started its life as the best car of 1995, or at least the beginning of the season. Pole position in round 1, 2 wins followed, but after that the season pretty much took a dive. Reliability was vague, although it was still a fast car in qualifying at least. But reliability as well as silly mistakes really took its toll on the team that year. Although it started off as being the fastest car, it was clear that the Benetton team all round was a better outfit. 5 wins throughout the season, 4 for Damon Hill, 1 for David Coulthard. For Coulthard it really was just a learning season for him. Multiple pole positions but only 1 win. And lots of mistakes which really didn't help. One being at Monza where he spun off on the formation lap, pole position, and also crashing while leading at the Australian Grand Prix, crashing into the pit wall while entering the pits, which doesn't go down well. And Damon Hill didn't exactly fill himself full of glory that year either, although he did start the season as the best, winning 2 of the first 3 races. The first race was let down by gearbox failure. Was it gearbox or was it suspension? I can't remember. I think it was sort of a multiple of both really. But he spun off while in second place in that race, and from pole position of course though. But the season sort of, the race was being dominated by Schumacher. But the following 2 races he pulled his finger out and got the job done. But after I think the Spanish Grand Prix onwards, the season took a dive. The reliability, running out of fuel or coasting to a standstill on the final lap, which really didn't help. Second place at Monaco, I think. Canada retired, France second. Great Britain was the first of the where pressure started to get to Hill, where he ran into Schumacher with a very desperate attempt to overtake. Not a good sign there. Spinning off in the lead of the German Grand Prix. Now I will give Damon Hill the benefit of the doubt on that one, because it did seem like a very suspicious spin, like something broke on the car and he just lost it. But I expect there are people who know better, but that's my opinion. A win at Hungary, which would have been a Schumacher win had he not retired with mechanical problems. But that was sort of a damage limitation win. Second place at the Belgian Grand Prix, the chaotic Belgian Grand Prix, which is quite a classic race really. Hill starting I think 8th and Schumacher finishing 16th, starting 16th rather. So Hill started 8th, Schumacher 16th, and I think the Ferrari front row. And was one of the first comeback races of the 90s really, and sort of showed how good Schumacher was, especially in changeable conditions. But Schumacher won that race, and Hill wasn't too happy about that. Off to Monza, Schumacher and Hill once again come together. Damon Hill running into the back of Schumacher at the third chicane rather, and blamed Adrian Newey for getting in the way. What would come after that? I think it was Portugal after that, where David Coulthard took his first victory, and all seemed to go quite well there. And then we went to the Nürburgring, where Hill spun off on his own on the wet track. Aida, Schumacher took the title. Japan, Damon Hill spun off on his own twice. And in Australia, what did he do in Australia? Oh no, he won in Australia, that's right. Yes, Damon Hill won the Australian Grand Prix by 2 laps, but it was all too late by then. Can't really say much for Coulthard. His season was up and down, although there were signs of brilliance throughout the season with pole positions and leading, but the multiple mistakes, which sort of curtailed his Williams career really. But I'm not going to talk too much about that. But the Williams was, like I said, the fastest car at the beginning of the season, and once again natural light really not doing this model any good, so just put the torch over. But yeah, it started off as the best car, and of course he got the rule changes in for 1995. A lower rear wing, smaller engines. Of course they've gone to 3 litre engines as opposed to 3.5. Smaller front wings, higher sides. I think there's a banning on certain aerodynamic pieces, but that sort of got overturned. And also the start of the season, a lot of the teams started with the gap in the engine cover, because in 94 they had opened up the back of the engine cover, and I think some teams carried that over into 95, but throughout the season that got sort of undone. So that's that. So that's pretty much it really. Although this is the first Williams with the raised nose as well, so it's a sort of Adrian Newey moving into unfamiliar territory. A raised nose, multiple barge boards, and higher sides, more profound engine cover or roll hoop, and that's that. So that's the car in well, the real car in detail. Let's get onto the model. And this is a early, well, I say early, it's a Minichamps model, although at the time it was called Paul's Model Arts. I'll just lift the camera up. Right, a quick profile over the top of the car. Move the car a bit closer. So a quick profile look over it, and it's very similar in approach to the FW18, which is the car that followed this one. I suppose it was sort of an evolution of this car. The FW17, this one is a bit more curvier than the 18 car. The 18 is a bit more bulky. Have a quick look down into the cockpit there. A bit of dust in there. I haven't really given it a proper clean. Got the detailing around the steering wheel there. And yeah, it really does need a clean down there. So that's the inside of the cockpit. Got all the detail decals on the driver's suit. Although it's missing the white detailing to the top of the overalls. That's sort of something that followed on with the other models as well. But no big issue there. Bit of an issue with the number on the join in the nose. It's sort of peeling off there. But that is the age of this model, and I'll give it the benefit of the doubt on that one. Quick look over the top of the car there, around to the rear, and once again decals peeling on the rear wing as well. That's a real shame, but it's its age. But no big deal. So a quick look down the back. So look down the back of the car, through the diffuser, rear wing. Of course, 1995 was the first year of the fancy reduced diffuser, and this bit of string there, which shouldn't be there. Go away, right. So that's that one there. So yeah, the previous owner of this car, I did buy this car on eBay about 5 years ago, and the previous owner, I think, left it in the attic. So hence why it's got a bit of dust and cobwebs on it. Although I do have the box, so don't know. It's not my fault, the dust. I just haven't got round to properly cleaning it. So there you go. So quick look around the barge boards. Got the double layered barge boards there. Got the Sanyo on there, Sanyo there, and a little flappy panel there. Through the suspension there. Once again, hell of a lot of dust. You got the carbon detailing on the front wing. Got the Senna S out of focus on the front wing pillars, just there, and a bit of dirt and grime on the cover of the car. Got the D-Hill there, driver profile, and overall not too bad, and a bit of decal peeling there as well. So it's a bit rough, but it's it's in one piece. It's just a bit rough on the edges. So there was one issue that I had when I bought this car. The rear wing was very loose, but a bit of glue sorted that out. I mean, it's loose now, but I mean it was really loose. I mean it was sort of flopping on the floor. That's how loose it was. So I managed to rescue this car to a degree, and overall it's a real beauty, this car. I mean, 1995 I think was sort of, although the cars were different, I think their cars were sort of more elegant and sleeker, although slightly slower. I think by 94 the cars had become a bit too big and a bit too tall, sort of like 2015, 2016 era. Sort of from 2009 to 2016, the cars with their narrow track, wide front wing, narrow tall rear wing, the cars just looked clumsy, and I think it was the same in the early sort of 94, 93. So 1995 was sort of what we're going through now, really, with the lower wings, a wider track. Pardon me, affected the cars. Although the cars were 2 meters back in the day, but they weren't as sort of not as clumsy. But there you go. Do a quick look over the profile there. And like I said, this is a Minichamps model, or Paul's Model Art. There was a version made by Onyx, which I also owned. I did own it for a little while, and there's an Onyx model. I don't know if I reviewed that or not. Can't really remember, but it was made by Onyx. The manufacturer is really known for the 143 scale models, but they did make a 118 version of this car, and it's not perfect, and it's not exactly brilliant, and it has been reused as well. The mould for that Onyx model has been reused for the Quartzo version, so if you own the Quartzo version of this car, it's basically the rehashed Onyx mould, so that's what that is. And the issues I have with that, from a side profile, the Onyx model looks great, but it's when you get to the sort of front view, top view, the car is really overweight. The side pods, not side pods, but the engine cover is too wide, the cockpit is a bit too wide, the nose section of the cockpit is too flat, and it's just sort of out of proportions. I think they just upscaled their 143 model and passed it off as a quality model. I mean, for the price that I paid for it, I mean, I think I paid about £5 for it, so it's not going to break the bank. But it's not. It's sort of like the Barago version of the Minichamps, if you like, sort of like we got now. So it's sort of the budget version. Because the rarity of this one is sort of up and down, because you don't see the FW17 very often, at least the Damon Hill version. You tend to get the David Coulthard version quite often, but the Damon Hill is a bit more, a bit scarce. And also it comes in 2 different boxes as well, because this one I think is the dealer edition, or not dealer edition, but it's in a closed box. So if I just move the car out of the way, you can see the box. It's one of those. You can see it's a Formel 1 model box, so there's no sticker on it, so there's no sticker, you don't know who's actually in the car. But there you go. So yeah, price wise for this car is up and down, because I said the rarity is up and down as well. So I think I paid about £20 for this one, but it's sort of a buy it now sort of rush job, if you know what I mean. Someone puts it on at a buy it now price, not knowing the value, and people snap them up. So that's what I come up with this one. So whenever there's a bargain to be had, I tend to pick them up. So that's what this car is, I think. Spare at the moment, sell. And I can't remember when I bought it. I think it was about 5-6 years ago. So the value is probably either gone up or gone down, because I've not sort of been up with the ups and downs of diecast recently. I'm sort of out of tune about what's rare and what isn't, or what's sought after. Because I mean, a model a couple of years ago could have been valued at £200, you know, at not a buy it now price, but at a bidding price. You know, someone's willing to pay £200 for a model. Put one on today, that same model, you probably wouldn't get half that. So it's an up and down market at the moment. And I think the sort of the diecast companies sort of pricing themselves out, making their new models really expensive, and the older models sort of losing their value. I don't really know. I suppose it's personal opinion, really. If you're desperate for a certain car, you'd buy it, wouldn't you? It's like everything. But yeah, I'm sort of out of tune at the moment with the market. But hey ho, never mind. Yeah, it's sort of rant over on that one, but I do apologise for the weather, because well, the sunlight, because it is cloudy out and it's not really doing the car any good. So I'll get the torch out and we'll have a quick glue over this look. Well, not glue, but a quick shine over it. And you can see the colour of the car. I've not really got the proper base for the car for at the moment. I mean, the blue base with the blue card really doesn't help, so you can probably see it better than anyone can. Anyway, the viewfinder picks it up alright. The viewfinder is a bit lighter than reality. But anyway, that is the Williams FW17 from 1995, and yeah, I would recommend this model. If you're a Williams fan or a Formula 1 fan of the past, then this is definitely one to get. You may have to pay out a little bit for it, but hey ho. And I would recommend the Minichamps one over the Onyx one, or the Quartzo one, but it's all personal opinion. If you want to pick up the Quartzo, then fine. You know, it's an alright model. It's just that I prefer this one. But never mind. Anyway, this is Rich signing off, logging off and disappearing. And I shall return with another review. So bye for now.